Hey everybody, it's Monday. Welcome to the Monday Minutia in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Big win for the Falcons yesterday, 24-10. We've had time to talk about it all yesterday. Let's take that 24-hour pause and let's revisit that wonderful win last night. Let's do it. Hey everybody, how you doing today? It is the Monday Minutia here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank you for joining me on this Victory Monday as we still are on cloud nine about this great win yesterday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I am your Uncle Steve. Welcome into the lounge. For those of you on YouTube, please make sure as you come in, like the videos so we can get this thing out there for the world to see. Atlanta Bird Gang, always thank you so much for joining us. Please hit the like button on the videos to let your Unc know he's doing a good job for you. I appreciate everyone out there. Young's voice is going through some metamorphosis. I don't know what I guess. I don't know. I can just hear my wife if she's either listening or we'll talk about this later on. Listen, these games to me are more, and it's funny that we're going to talk mostly centric about fandom. Again, it's after game one. For those 3 hours, mostly 1 o'clock to 4:15 or whatever, it's like a different feeling. It's a different type of I don't want to say an entity comes inside of me because the Lord may be taking me to the altar, and that's not what I'm saying. But in my fandom, I really get excited to see my team play. And I'm telling you, the team could be probably 0-10 or 10-0, and you're still going to get the same level of excitement from me. Now, once it's over with, the 6 days and 21 hours between time, I'm going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to be honest about it. And we're going to lay out those things that we say we did good, those things we say we did bad, and those things that whatever all of you want to talk about. I don't ever want to get to a point where we just accept what it is about the Atlanta Falcons. These are the facts. 1, the Atlanta Falcons won the game. 2, we're going into the next game with an opportunity to win game number 2. 3, we won a division game. And 4, we have to start the process all over again to get ready for a Green Bay team that put up quite a few points in their game against Chicago. I feel it's fair, even right after the game, 24 hours after the game, 48 hours after the game, to review what's going on and talk about it with people. And if you're scared of that conversation, or more or less, if you're afraid to talk about those deficiencies, that's you. You might not agree with everything everyone else says. I talk to my guys all the time. As an example, my buddy Smitty and Berto and Big Low, my guys, and we'll disagree about things. All summer long, they were on me, Steve. No, Lamar Jackson, no. I stood my ground. I'm like, yeah, until they officially announced it. Then I'm like, okay, I'm down with Ritter. But that doesn't mean we can't have a difference of opinion and still coexist in a space. Because between 1 o'clock and 4:15, no matter what we disagree about, we agree about rooting on our Atlanta Falcons. So that's what I'm talking to you all today about. As a fan, is it okay to have different opinions about what you saw? I think it is. I think it's fine. So we'll get into it as time goes on. Obviously, we're going to talk about the game and things like that. And then the other question I have for you today is, what was your experience? For those of you who were in the Dome, in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, what was your experience yesterday? Yesterday was different from what I've seen in a long time in the Benz. A lot of folks in there. Almost looked similar to an SEC championship game. Not quite, but almost. A lot of Falcon fans. They gave away these flags. The flags were from the top bowl, from the top all the way to the bottom. Third downs, they asked for noise. There was huge noise. Fans, for the most part, in their seats early. So all those things make for a great fan experience. So I want to know from those of you who were there, and this is not a shot to those of you who weren't, but I would like to know, for those of you who were there, did you see a difference in what we were displaying yesterday for the Atlanta Falcons game? So we're going to start from there. And listen, I haven't even gotten to the chat yet. I got a couple of super chats here already. My brother Greg, welcome to the family, my friend. Say, what's up, Ritter looks jittery. It'll pass with more games he plays. Defense looks amazing. Play calling will get better in the coming weeks. Yeah, I hope so, man. And Greg, thank you so much for the super chat. And again, for those of you who don't know, y'all make sure y'all hit Greg up with custom kicks. He got his tag right there. Brother can put together some shoes for you. Got 7 more games to go at home. Let's see if he can put something together for you to have you looking in style coming into the Benz or away game. He'll hook you up, talk to him. About a week turnaround, a week or so turnaround on the shoes. Make sure you reach out to him and see what he got for you. Another super chat in here. My buddy, Big Low Country Sports. Y'all make sure y'all check out Big Low on his channel. Y'all already know. Subscribe, like the channel. Bigelow puts out mostly factual information, with the exception of my voice. Even hoarse, my voice sounds. A chair is still a chair, even when there's no one sitting there. Still pristine compared to whatever it is he calls himself doing. Y'all check him out, man. Big Low says we always disagree. For example, see what I'm talking about? For example, everybody's telling you I'm the lead singer of Southern Silk, but you won't accept it. Again, non-factual situations, but y'all see what I'm talking about. We disagree, but we coexist. Okay, and all kidding aside, I know everybody wants to have their opinion on how things are going and um, who should be at fault for certain things. And I also hear the side of those folks like, why are y'all complaining about a win? Because you know what? The culture is not going to change in one game. The culture for the last 5 years has unfortunately been to a point where we are a little triggered when it comes to play that's not good on the field. So I understand. Look, great game. Want the Falcons to succeed. Want the Falcons to go to the playoffs. Support them financially, emotionally. But every fan has a right to say what they feel about the team, as long as it's in a respectful way. It's not disrespectful. I think it's wide open. So anyway, let's run into the chat. Thank you two guys for the super chat for us. Thank you so much. Mark Cheney's in the house. Mark from Atlanta Bird Game. Victory Monday with my favorite Unc. I can't wait. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Y'all make sure y'all check them out on Atlanta Bird Game. Him and Tidy be doing their thing over there. Had a real good chat yesterday that I got a small chance to participate in. So they took care of their business on there. Bigelow Country Sports, as I said, Uncle Steve, all late. Yeah, man. Listen, I will tell you what happened. I originally planned on being here for 5:15, and there ended up being a menu change for dinner today on me, not anybody else. And with that menu change, it took a little time, so I had to push it back. So hope y'all forgive me. Forgive you all for that. Sorry about that. Ricky, what's going on? Ricky's in the house. Says, what's up? Bubba Gump is here. Hope you're doing all right, Bubba. After Victory Sunday, this Victory Monday now. Stephon Mosley, what is up, sir? Thank you for joining me. Atlanta supporters here. I see false starts here. Say, Green Bay up next. I expect us to play better this week. I hope so too. That's the hope. Atlanta supporter says, what should Atlanta fans do to win next week? I'm sorry, what should Atlanta Falcons do to win next week? Each team is different. Each game plan is going to be different. You know, I was a little concerned early on, you know, how the offense started off. You know, Desmond was just getting crushed by the Carolina front seven. They did some really good things. Looked like Atlanta made some adjustments on the line. Arthur Smith in his press conference gave a lot of credit to Michael Pruitt in putting him in the game, and he really helped the blocking. And you saw a difference with Desmond. Now, obviously, I think the goal every now and then is to be able to shoot that thing down the field a little. And as you saw, he had more opportunities late. But, you know, we'll see. It's a work in progress. The Dixon Way, Larry and Shonda in the house. Y'all check them out on YouTube. Live reaction video. I'm pretty sure he is doing that Atlanta-Philadelphia doubleheader. Atlanta pulled off the first game 10-8 in extra innings. I think that puts the magic number down to 4. So we have an opportunity to clutch the division if we win today and do that later on. Y'all make sure y'all give them a sub over on the Dixon Way. Say draft Shedeur Sanders and hire Deion Sanders to coach the Falcons next season. I said it on Atlanta Bird Game stream, and I'm doubling down on it. Yeah, I hear you. I'm just not buying what you're selling. I think the Deion story is a good story. It's still an early story, but it's a good story. Being able to bring all those folks in and do what they do. But I'm one that's going to hold tight before I say all of that. But I hear you. Lisa Shepard, thank you for joining us in the lounge. Lisa says, Victory Monday, lots of discussion, rise up Falcons. And that's so crazy because the discussions have gone everywhere to, these are the new look Falcons, to, yeah, they still look the same. And I'm sure the overriding people in the middle like, didn't we just win the game? But you're never going to satisfy fans, y'all. I'm sorry. You never will. Another super chat in the house. Thank you so much. This is John Harris. Okay. Intermonium LTD. Okay. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I'm just here so I won't get fined. Anyway, me and you made an art of disagreeing agreeably about these bums. And listen, I wish I had videotape of some of the stuff that John Harris and I used to go through as far as disagreeing. And this was during the Matt Ryan era. And we went at it in such a way that was so gave room for everybody to have their opinions, yet still respectful. I think if as long as you come at the person right, I mean, everything's on the table. I disagree with 75% of what John was telling me, and some days, even now, still disagree with some things, but that doesn't mean we can't have a conversation. And not only that, that little 3-hour span I was telling y'all about, during that 3-hour span, you're not going to find anybody rooting harder for the Atlanta Falcons than he and I, even on opposite ends on discussions of things. So I hope we learn, even as fans, how to, have conversations about differing opinions and have conversations about, I don't know, just, well, as we go on, I'll get into it. Winston is in the lounge. What's going on? Winston said, what's going on, Unc? And the chat, smash that button. Yes, I appreciate it. 330 said, Unc just got back home in time for my Monday's Falcon talk in the lounge. Thank you so much, Unc. I mean, yeah, I'm calling you Unc anyway. 330, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to hook up. I'll blame Big Low. It was probably his fault. So but yeah, man, I'm sure that drive was a lot easier going home after a win. That was just a great feeling to see that clock go down and have a 14-point win. Charles B is in the lounge. What's going on, Charles? Thank you for joining us, sir. Timothy, what's going on? Say, hey, Uncle Steve, rise up. Do you think Ritter will air the ball more against them cheeseheads? London didn't get much looks against Carolina. I would imagine that the game plan will change a little bit. So let's hope that they do some things a little different. Obviously, you want to see that protection start off like it was in the second half instead of how it started for the game. Hey, Brian Burns, man. And listen, we got a chance. We got an opportunity to kind of see him up close. Yeah, Brian Burns is worth every bit. And I saw him after the game and literally told him, I said, Brian, and he was going towards his people, towards Carolina. I said, man, get your money. And he came over and dapped me up. Like literally. So that man is crazy good. Larry said, I'm happy for the win, but yeah, draft Shador. I hear you. Facebook user says, what's going on, Facebook user? Thank you for joining us. Timothy says, you mean past anxiety, Uncle, on a high blood pressure. Hey, man. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Larry says, and I don't want to tank for Shador, just saying if things go left, then he is on my wife's list. Okay. And that's that. That's fair. I disagree, but it's fair. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of things we haven't seen. I mean, I've seen the skill set. So right now he's in Trey Lance territory to me. Where you see the physical skills, you see the gifts. Now I need to see him against less inferior competition. And I know TCU was rated, blah, blah. But we see TCU is not what they were last year. So let me see him against the USCs. Let me see him against the Utahs and stuff like that. And I think it's fair. It's fair to say that. Let's see how he looks against those teams before we get ready to anoint him the next coming. Toy Newman, what's going on, sir? Thank you for joining us in the lounge. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. 777 WCG, how you feeling? Said you're gonna have these Ritterites running for the hills. Listen, I'm gonna tell things from my point of view, and you know, WCG, if you know me well enough to know, I stand on what I stand on, and I don't mean that in a pompous way or whatever, but people have opinions. If you have a different opinion, turn on your phone, put on record, and tell the world how you feel. I don't blame people for having different opinions. This is what makes the world go round. That's how things get done. If we just listen to one person and take one person's opinion and just live by that alone, you know, you in for a mess up there. That one Falcon fan, what's going on? Thank you for joining us in the lounge. Say throwback time. We're gonna go 3-0 throwbacks. You can bet $50 on it. Also, I feel like I was too hard on Ritter after watching the film. I gotta blame the coach and the O-line and a little on Ritter too. And that's fair because yes, the O-line did not do any favors for him, especially early. The pass protection did not do him any favors. It made him rush. It made him kind of throw things a little bit off. I don't want to say off. He only missed 3 passes. But it just made him look like he was very, very jittery. And anybody would be jittery if you got big guys coming at you on that Carolina Panthers defensive front seven. And they are the truth. That Carolina's defense is going to be nice. And I got news for you. Bryce Young, he has some athleticism. Now, once he kind of gets his throws down, now he had a couple of deep passes that the receiver had a step. And had he put it there, we might be talking about some different things today. But it's going to take some time. He struggled hard. He struggled a lot. So it's going to take some time to get that squared away. That Falcons, that one fan says, opinions matter. They do. Absolutely. Atlanta supporter says, I'm rooting for the Atlanta Falcons to win multiple rings. Yes, always. Always. Larry says, it's fair to talk about the good and the bad of the game. That's why the platform exists, to be honest. It's just healthy conversation. That's, and again, waxing poetic with Larry, who Larry and I have been talking way more before we even got on YouTube with this thing. And we talked a lot about the Falcons back in the Matt Ryan days, going back and forth. We didn't always agree on a lot of stuff, but we always were respectful and kept it in that pocket. And that's why, I think brothers like ourselves are able to mediate those kind of discussions in these forums, because we don't take it personal if you don't believe what we say. We don't, call your names and tell everybody we told you so, just in case you are right once in a while. We're not about that. We're about having a good time, bringing everybody in, and just being a place for people to sit down and feel comfortable expressing themselves. You can always express yourself on this platform without worrying about being ganged up on or whatever. Ricky says that's healthy, having a difference of opinion, because other people see things that someone else may not see. I go through that too. Rick's been with me for a while too. Me and Rick have had disagreements on things as well during these chats. And shoot, me and Rick has even talked in person about certain things. And he would come it one way and I come it the other way. But when you respect each other, it's cool. There are some people that think that was the greatest Atlanta Falcon victory in 5 years. And there are some that say it's last year's Falcons dressed in a costume that just happened to win the game. And I say that's okay. That's okay that you have those two opinions. One person isn't the devil if they think one way and one person isn't the smartest person in the room. It's finding that happy medium. I knew this was going to happen, win or lose, yesterday, because if y'all think about it, for the last 9 months, we have gone back, forth, up, down, around about not only what the Falcons should do personnel-wise, who we should draft, how the coaching should be, how should they practice, should they play people in preseason. Think about all those different varying opinions that we've had this offseason. And when you came to the game, which I saw so many people at the game yesterday, which was so refreshing to see everyone. My Facebook is flooded with friends that I say, oh, I didn't know they were at the game. And you just see everyone saying, okay, we're going to give this team a chance. And guess what? That first win, that puts equity into this team. It puts equity into the fan base. The fan base is saying, okay, I might not be 100% bought in, but at least you're leading me in the right direction. So, yeah, bring me in. Bring me in. That's what happened yesterday. And a 14-point win on the first game of the year with a new starting quarterback. I knew he's played 4 games. I know. But basically a new quarterback is a great thing. Y'all make sure as y'all coming into the lounge, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, please hit the like button. Get this video out into the YouTube universe and get things rolling for us. Lisa Shepard says, healthy conversation is no issue. However, there are fans that troll other fans for wanting Ritter to be successful. That's strange to me. Shouldn't we all want Ritter to do well for the team? Now, see, when you say troll, Lisa, you're always going to have you have those folks that I don't care if even the people that might have differing opinions, 98% of the people want to go right. They want to go left just to be different. You always have those. I know the trolls you're talking about, and I know the people that you're discussing. Sometimes they just want that attention. I mean, a lot of times, sometimes I'll entertain it. Sometimes it's almost like, what's the use? I mean, you're the one, I'm talking about the trolls. The trolls are the ones that spend their time getting carpal tunnel syndrome, trying to type up all these things to answer everybody and just show everybody that you're so unique. So that's fine. But at the end of the day, and I'll put it this way. If you see people going way out of their way to do that, if you stop answering them and you stop rebutting to them, eventually that attention will go away and they usually will go right with it. So, Jared Brown, what's going on? Thank you for joining us in the lounge. I wasn't at the Benz yesterday, but you can feel the energy in the place through the TV. And listen, again, if you were in the Benz, I want you to please tell me tell me how your experience was. I really want to hear from all of you. And I'm telling you, my experience was something I really haven't felt, if I'm honest, since that opening day at Mercedes-Benz against Green Bay. I didn't get a chance to go to that Thursday night game, the infamous choke game from Sean Payton. I didn't get a chance to go to that game. I heard that was kind of lit as well. But it's a feeling you can't get. And those are the things that stir me, man. Those are the things that get me hyped and excited. I don't know about y'all, but to see a full stadium, to hear that dude say third down and hear that place go up and they put that little fake noise meter that never seems to be right up there on the big screen. That gets me pumped up. Whether you're a casual Falcon fan or a run through the wall Falcon fan, that gets me going. So I want to hear you guys' Experience. Guys and gals experience. Oh, man, this is my buddy Padre. What is going on? He said, hey, Uncle Steve, I heard that the only reason Jesus got to perform is because you and Bigelow were working on new material. Can you confirm? First of all, Padre, you are the man, and it was cool seeing you again, brother. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. To confirm, yes, I am working on solo material because I just feel like Bigelow has not been very kind to me lately, and I want the royalties to come to me. So until we get the contractual things done, I'll be working. I call myself Solo Silk. No, I can't say that. I can't say that. I'm just messing with you. You'll hear some. Look, as soon as I get my voice back, you'll hear some more things about Southern Silk in the future. We probably should have done some stuff this past week, but you know how he is, man. Arrogant lead singers. You know how they are. Lisa said, I had such a great time at the Bench yesterday. Yeah, man. Lisa, it was just an awesome feeling. And they see when those touchdowns were made, when Jesse Bates was making those interceptions, you could just hear the place getting ready to explode. And not to say we haven't had moments like that recently, but it was just there. It was there. EQRC, thank you for joining us in the lounge. And yes, I could tell the crowd was in it on TV, and that's crazy because obviously I don't get a chance to see that aspect most of the time because I'm at the games. But yeah, man, it was what you heard on TV was what we were feeling in the stadium yesterday. And the roof was closed. So it was like, man. Facebook user says, O-line has got to do better for time in the pocket. Absolutely. No question. You're absolutely right. A lot of people were dogging out McGarry, truth be told. And that was one of the question marks before giving him that big money was his worth, which is awesome in the run game, worth the big payday for his pass protection. And it's a question that is fair, but I guess it was important for Atlanta to keep that continuity on the offensive line. Now, do they have a chance to get it right? Of course they do. But yesterday, you can truly say that there were things on that O-line that didn't quite jive from what we saw. So, yeah. Lisa says the Aints in attendance did too. It's amazing to me. I don't know. And these are, you were talking about trolls. Those are people that you just, why would you come to a Falcon Panther game with a Saints jersey on? Why would you come, which I saw yesterday, to a Falcons Panthers game with Pittsburgh on? Why would you come to a Falcons Panthers game with a Patriots jersey on? I know it's hee ha ha. I wear my team. I support them, whatever. But I don't know, man. It's come on, man. Come on. It's ridiculous. So, Bird Game Sports ATL, what's going on? How you doing, sir? Good to see you in the house. Thank you for joining us here on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Ricky says McGarry laid several eggs yesterday, but Lindstrom was uncharacteristic with penalties. Yeah. And remember, Lindstrom had the game earlier in the preseason where he got the 2 penalties on the 1 drive, so that was kind of crazy too. That's my man, Eddie. What's going on, Eddie? I'm gonna tell you something. And I was talking about those fans that you have sometimes might have a different opinion. I got a chance to chop it up with Eddie yesterday. Those guys that I've seen obviously before online, and he's passionate about what he's talking about, and his style might be different from other people's style, but he has an opinion and has something to say. I don't have to agree with everything he says, but as long as we can have a healthy conversation and respectful conversation, hey, he's always going to have a place on the platform, and with me at least. I can't speak for other people, but I don't run from things like that. I almost love to hear people who disagree with my point, because I just want to see where you're coming from. I really do. So this is a good thing, and I enjoyed chopping it up with you, Eddie. And I haven't forgot about you. When we open up the chat, I would love to have you come in with me and talk about some things, man. But yeah, man, that was some good conversation yesterday. Anthony Booker is joining us in the lounge. What's up, Anthony? Say, yo, what's up, brother Steve? Anthony checking in on YouTube. The stadium was fun and to watch, in a big crowd and a win. It was awesome, man. And again, I want to hear that. That's what I want to hear today. Your experience in the Benz yesterday. Those of you who were there, the Benz. Oh man. Padre said, "What's good, Uncle Sweet?" I mean, Uncle Steve. Shame on you, Padre. Shame on you, brother. Ricky says they have us as favorites for next week's game. Atlanta is not Chicago, but we got to be prepared for more than 25 points. Adams is nursing an injury, which may be a saving grace for us. Still, Love is a bit more polished than Young. Now, you must be taught now, is it you mean Adams or do you mean the running back? I thought the little running back, or here's his name, Adams. What's the boy name? The little running back. I did hear that the running back had a little bit of a problem. But yeah, we're a favorite. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw a 1-point favorite, which basically means if we're playing at home and you're a 1-point favorite, they think Green Bay is going to beat you. So, yeah, technically, yes, but it's basically going to be a pickup game. I mean, a pick-em game, not a pickup game. Pick-em game. Nando, what's going on, man? Say, I'm with the Dixon way. Give me Sanders, plural. I hear you. And again, I ain't mad at Shedeur at all. Shedeur has showed everybody that it doesn't matter where you go, talent travels. And that's cool. Matter of fact, as much as I understand the overwhelming power of Deion Sanders and everything and all that, in a lot of ways, and I mean this, I think he's kind of overshadowing what his son is doing, because it's his son that put up 900 yards in the first 2 games. That's Shedeur doing that, man. And I know everybody, Coach Prime, and I get it, but don't shortchange Shedeur. He's been doing his thing. Big Verb is in the lounge. What's going on? What's up? Oh, I'm here if you need me. This is Ed. I got you, Eddie. I got you, brother. And I appreciate that, man. I really do. Ricky said, oh, my God, I used to love those Matt Ryan arguments between the two uncles. Hey, man, me and John go at it all the time. Facebook user says, I love to see a W on week 1. However, it came about. Fair. Absolutely fair. Dixon Wade says, I'm ready to focus on the Green Bay matchup after watching Green Bay versus the Bears game last night. We have chances to take shots down the field. Love didn't light it up on them, but was good enough to win. Yeah, I hope this is going to be a different game than than Carolina. Dang, my voice got me crazy. It's going to be a different game than Carolina. This is not going to be the same game plan. Jordan looked nice yesterday. Can't deny 3 touchdowns, but I don't know if he's the athlete that Bryce Young is, so it could be different. We might end up playing this thing a whole lot different. Maybe we put more pressure on him. Maybe with the running back out, we don't have to worry about that aspect of the game as much. But we'll see. We'll see. Billy Glover's in the house. What's going on, Billy? Speaking of Deion Sanders lovers, This man right here, he going all out for his guy. WCG says, I am for getting Dion for head coach because I think he will surround himself with position coaches that can coach. And that's the one thing that he did smartly when he went to Colorado. That's an awesome thing he did. Surround yourself with good help. That's what you got to do. Out of your Falcon mind, what is going on? John and Mike doing their thing. I know y'all enjoyed that game yesterday. And if y'all want to see how much they enjoyed it, I know they put out a little video yesterday. Make sure you check out of Your Falcon Mind on YouTube. Go put a sub in for them. And actually, they got some merch for you, too. They got some nice T-shirts as well. Just dropping in to show some love while preparing for our show later. Great to be 1-0. Have a great show. Look forward to watching later. Hit that like button for And the same thing for Out of Your Falcon Mind. Throw in there what time you coming in, fellas, so I can make sure I let everybody know what we got going on. Joseph Evans, who I know enjoyed his time at the stadium yesterday, rides up. Yeah, we had a great time, man. My buddy was, we really enjoyed seeing the Falcons do something they haven't done in a while. That's win that first game. So that was a great experience. Kelly Stinson is in the house. What's going on, sir? If Arthur Smith has a brilliant game plan for Ritter, we need to see it these next 3 games. And again, these next 3 games are going to be different. So Kelly's right. You got to see some different things. And again, you prepare different for different teams. I really want to see what Arthur Smith has cooking for the Green Bay Packers. They put up 38. Carolina put up 10. You better make sure you're hitting on all cylinders. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Also on Facebook, make sure you do that for me as well. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. We're talking 2 things. We're talking about opinionated fans. If you are, is it okay to have varying opinions on what the Falcons should do, how the Falcons won the game, and does it make you a bad fan to question someone else's opinion on things? I don't think it does. I think we should be able to have the grown conversation if you have 2 different opinions about how this thing should go. As long as the end of the day, again, between 1 o'clock and 4:15, you're rooting for the Falcons, I could care less. We're all going to think different once the game is over. And we got 16 more times to do this, hopefully 17, meaning the playoffs. But bring the opinions on. And then for those of you who went to the game, I want to hear, how was your experience at the Bench yesterday? What was the atmosphere like? I'm hearing a lot of good things about how things were. I mean, I can give my opinion all day, but for somebody who goes all the time, y'all be like, oh, Steve, you just saying that. No, I want to hear what y'all think. Especially those of you, maybe even those of you who don't go to the game all the time. Tell me what your experience was. Bubba Gump said Burns is on a mission for a big payday too. I'm telling you. Bubba, I told him. He came out that field and I literally told him, I said, hey man, go get your money. Go get your money. He is something else. Ricky says, Shedeur may not be the answer for our scheme. Colorado still has to finish the season. Let's see him against Power 5 teams and see if it's the same blowouts. Then, just as I was not sold on Bryce Young, I feel the same way about Sanders. Not to take away from his body of work, but BCS and NFL are 2 different leagues. They thought that Trey Lance was the second coming of Lamar Jackson. You see where he is now? It's a prove it to me thought right now. Okay, that's fair. I got you. Now, you know he did play a Power 5 school on day 1. So, I mean, TCU and Nebraska. So, I say when you get to those teams that are going to be tougher. USC is not going to be TCU. Utah is not going to be TCU. So tell me how that feels after you get there. But I hear what you're saying overall, though. Madtown Dirty, what's going on, sir? Thank you for joining us, as well as my buddy Raymond. Good to be 1-0. Let's continue it. Jay Black joining us in the lounge. What's up, Sebo joining us in the rounds. What's going on? Said Ritter was a bit shaky in the first quarter. But the good part, no turnovers. He would get better. And listen, you heard all of that about the 4 games last year. He didn't turn the ball over. Okay. It was easy at the end of the year. You could say growing pains, but you know what? He didn't turn the ball over. You don't win in this league turning the ball over. So I do applaud him for taking care of the ball. Now, is he perfect? No, far from it. But that's one good thing you can say. He doesn't give the ball away. 330 says, do you understand that some fans come to these platforms for a form of therapy? So being brutally honest, are not taking it face value. I'm glad we won, but I have moved on to the next week. And most fans are like that. Just like 30 said. It's like that. Bubba says, but for years, Matt stuffed the stat sheet, but the defense was so bad that it resulted in L's. And that's fair, Bubba, for a part of that time. I would say, if you ask me, I think Matt stayed a little past his time. Of course, if you could go back to the crystal ball, you probably wouldn't have signed him to that very last contract, which I think was 18 that he did. That was the contract that really hamstrung us. But yeah, Matt was pretty consistent. We really did need to surround him with some defense, and we didn't. I'm not saying I want Matt Ryan. Now, 2016 Matt Ryan yesterday, take that all day. 2016, we saw what Matt did with 2 pretty decent running backs in 16. Now, if you took 2016 and put him on this team, he might go put a uniform back on. Latoya is in the house. How you doing, Latoya? Said, it was good seeing you crunk on the big screen. How did you feel about the play calling? On the play calling, I want to hope, Latoya, that this was just game 1 and maybe, I don't know. It's another thing too, Latoya. You know how sometimes at the beginning of the game, they script the first 15 plays? And I don't know whether they deviated from that or not, but you have to admit, by the time we got to the second part of the second quarter, when they gave the ball to Algier and he started doing his thing, you started to see some changes. So as far as the initial play calling, I say, because there's only so many times you could throw that little swing pass to Bijan without the defense being ready for it. And then at the end, being able to bring in that extra tight end, Michael Pruitt, to come in there and get some extra block in there and just help not only protect Ritter, but help open up some more holes for the running game. That paid dividends. So, play calling, I give it a C+. I can't give it a B. Just need a little bit more. And I know Desmond can't throw without the offensive line doing what they do, but just got to have the ball go downfield. 15 for 18 sounds great on a math test, but when you only have 115 yards to show for it and really 34 of it on one pass, we got to get that better, which means better O-line play, but we got to get that better. As far as seeing me on the big screen, yeah, I think you just caught me in the mind. I think that was right after a touchdown. So I was, yeah, man, I was in it. That was, hey, we were in the moment. 330 says, if a fan is satisfied on our play yesterday and we don't improve, they will have a long, disappointing season. Fair. WCG says, I don't have an answer to it, but was the offensive line so bad because the Panthers view the Falcons like we view the Saints, or does the team not think Ritter can beat them? I would say it's a combination. I think they made adjustments in the second half. And let's not act like it was absolutely that way the whole game. They did make some adjustments where they weren't just, I mean, the first half, they were just bull rushing through the middle. And Burns was just uncontainable. But near the end, they started to control things a little bit. Ritter had a little more time, and he was able to hit a couple of passes down the middle. Hit Matt Hollis a couple of times. Hit the big shot to Kyle Pitts. So I give them a little bit of credit, but we got to get that down pat. We got to. Jay Black says, Uncle Steve, I wanted Ritter to go downfield, but he did not have the time at the beginning of the game. Rid barely had 2 seconds to throw the ball. Rid was successful at dinking and dunking. And that's cool. And I have no problem with the dink and dunk, especially with the running backs we have. But what you don't want to be is be predictable. If you're going to dink and dunk and the defense thinks you're going to dink and dunk, you're going to have 8 people crowded in at all times. And they're not going to respect the deep pass. That's the one thing I will say about Matthew Ryan when he was here. Matt always tried to stretch the field. He did. So he had the wide receivers to do it. You go do it. But right now, at this particular point, we're going to have to be a little patient. We're going to have to be. That's for sure. Terry Ward, what's going on? Thanks for joining us here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Terry, appreciate you coming in. Appreciate you. Y'all make sure, again, y'all hit that like button for your uncle. Get this thing going here. Jay Black says, Brady dinked and dunked and won many a game. So I think people just want to see a certain type of passing game and feel a certain kind of way when the defense spoils the plan. Yeah, I mean, what's the phrase? He took what they gave him. And again, having talent like Bijan and Tyler in your backfield, I mean, I like my chances again, but I just think I would love to have my offensive line be able to create a space where I have the option to go down the field. Because for the most part, Carolina kind of figured them out. It's probably why the Kyle Pitts stuff was successful, because they were like, oh, dang, they actually throwing it long this time. And a great pass from Desmond. And he had a nice pocket. So we got to get it right. Mark says, this is the reason why our fan base is considered poor. We can't even talk about an ugly win without backlash. It's crazy. And Mark, who hosts a platform, understands what I'm talking about. I don't mind people giving their opinions on things. If we're wrong, we're wrong. If we have a different take, we have a different take. But, you know, don't get emotional. Don't get too crazy about it. That's all, man. 330 says, I saw you in Bigelow on the Halo swinging, but it was loud and full at the Benz for a change. I know I didn't want to bring this up because the last thing I want to do is hurt his ego. But if you notice the camera, if you notice who the camera kind of panned on, and who they said was, like the background, like I was Michael Jackson, and he was like, he wasn't even Tito, he was like Randy, and he was in the back. You know how Randy, when he was a little kid, he just pushed him, and Mike used to just push him in the back, and that was up front. Talk about shaking body down to the ground. That's what's up. I didn't mean to bring that up. I don't want to hurt no feelings, but Big Low will tell you. He'll tell you that. Jaquan, what's going on, man? Says, watching the game on TV, it felt electric. That seemed like a playoff game. Definitely good to see us get more push in the trenches on both sides. Yeah, look, the defense, even with some things you didn't see, I am more excited for what the potential of this defense can be. To have a bona fide safety in there that's going to make people think twice. You don't think right now that Matt LaFleur isn't thinking about what Jesse Bates did? I mean, to have that in the middle is going to be so much better than what we're used to. No disrespect to the Rico Allens and the folks of recent history who've been at the safety positions. But yeah, that paid dividends early. You almost like, yeah, that was that first year's salary what he gave us yesterday. 2 interceptions, a forced fumble. Come on, man. We ain't seen that in a long time. EQ says, what's the game plan for Green Bay? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. Run the ball, man. Run the ball and unpredictable play action. Just get the play action right. Get the play action right. Ricky said, Big Low jealous because he ain't got a voice like yours. Ricky, you don't have to hurt that man's feelings today. Don't hurt him, man. I mean, Big Low got feelings too. No, don't hurt him. It's the truth, but don't hurt him. Facebook user says, I usually go to a game once a year. I was at the game yesterday. It was loud, but if the bins was sold out, you would not be able to hear the person next to you. And I don't think it was. Now, I don't know whether it was sold out. I'll say this. Every person wasn't filling every seat, but it was very noisy in there. It was a home field advantage for the Falcons. Most of the time, when you have the away team there over the last couple of years, there is a strong swelling. Boy, when San Francisco was in there, even though they lost the game, and them fans went crazy when they scored a touchdown. Same thing with Cleveland. Same thing with Pittsburgh. Those fan bases come in there and they are noisy, even in the minority. But yesterday, there was a huge difference. Huge difference. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Atlanta Bird Game, what is going on, Toddy? How you doing, sir? Y'all make sure y'all check Toddy out on Atlanta Bird Game. And one of the hottest shows, if y'all ever get a chance on a Friday night, man, y'all got to check into the Waffle House and see what's going on. Because I'm just telling you, man, I don't stay up for all of it because I'm trying to get some sleep. But I know I'll go to sleep on them. And I'll wake up next morning to see they actually went all the way 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. But it's good stuff. Y'all make sure y'all check Tidy them out at Atlanta Bird Game. We got one more super chat. My brother Padre at it again. He said, Uncle Steve, I got to call you out. You come on here and talk about your laid-back, smooth jazz voice, but game day Steve is a menace in a good way. What? Man, I am so nice to people. I was so nice to the Carolina Panthers fans, which is not true. I do a little bit of trolling sometimes out there, but Padre, thank you again for the super chat, brother. But I think I'm being misrepresented. I really do. Man, we have a good time in there, man. I'm just trying to tell you. It's some fun stuff. Very fun. Padre say I saw a dude going into one of the club level suites with full Steelers gear on. Like for what? I think that might have been the guy I saw, Padre. It might have been the guy I saw. And I was just saying to myself, why? Dude, who cares about the Steelers? They need your support up there getting their butt whooped up in Pittsburgh. So shoot, go down there and help get them, man. Sorry, man. Nephew's in the house on Monday. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. I would say roll tide. Or should I say tide roll? Because at home, Tuscaloosa, 10 points. That was very uncharacteristic. Very uncharacteristic. But I ain't going to mess with you too much. Bubba Gump says, I don't understand paying a bunch of money for a team I don't like. Yeah, that's bizarre to me. I'm not going to a New Orleans Miami game and wearing my Falcon uniform. That's dumb. I mean, again, unless you just want that type of attention. So, I don't know. Crazy to me. King Rich is in the house. What's on, King? What's going on? What's up, Arthur Smith? Need that last game to work out the kinks because he didn't have them in preseason like he should have. And King, it's a good point. We brought that point up yesterday that it's a fair assessment to say, you know what? Maybe you needed more than those little 8 plays y'all had in preseason. Maybe you needed more. I don't know. Maybe you did. Greg, what's going on? I didn't even see the $2 brother. I appreciate it, man. Say, man, that Bijan juke though. And I see right behind your ATL focus. What's going on, man? Says, what was your reaction when you saw that Bijan run live? Because it looked video game like. Not even gonna lie to you. When I saw him and it were the 2 cats in front of him, it looked video game-ish. And this is the thing I'm trying to tell folks about that type of stuff. And thank you again, Greg. I appreciate the $2 super chat. This is the thing. And hear me out. I'm not telling you he's the greatest Atlanta Falcon running back in history. I'm not saying that. But it may be fair to say he might be the most electric running back we've drafted, or signed. He might be the most complete running back we've had in uniform. Yes, William Andrews, who is actually my favorite Falcon of all time, didn't have that. He had power, but he didn't have that power and speed. Devontae was shifty. Michael Turner was a big bowling ball that run you over. Jamal was actually pretty shifty for his big size, but he wasn't Bijan shifty. To see Bijan put them cats on skates was different. It was a little reminiscent of his namesake when he was here. That last 7 that used to kind of juke folks out of their shoes. So it's a little interesting that you say that, but man, it's going to be fun to see what these guys do. My son told me, he said, they're the best tandem right now. They are what Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt were doing in Cleveland before Kareem left. That's the potential for that. And Tyler Algier, who I still have yet to see go backwards. I've seen people pull him backwards, but I've never seen him go backwards. Dude falls forward 3 yards. So I don't. Bigelow says, I went on, they showed right after the game, Padre. Dave asked me, how did I feel about Ritter? I told him he was good enough to beat the Panthers. Yeah, he was. Matt Town Dirty said, did Zach play yesterday? You know what? I don't know. That's a good question. Did Zach Harrison play? I'm not sure. I really don't. Dexter Owens, what's up, Dex? Says, offensive line got to play better, a lot better. And I want to see Arthur Smith call play action and rollout when they work better for Ritter. When our run's going, let's get into no huddle. So that's actually not a bad thing, that no huddle. Padre says, Bijan is as advertised, but passing on Jalen Carter might have been a misfire. His stat line was ridiculous. Yeah, they were talking about what his 34% success rush rate. in that game. I know they're showing highlights of him, boy. That was something else. Armani said, yeah, it's okay until the Falcons can prove to the fan base that they can consistently win. We have the right to question everything. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Joseph Evans says, and don't forget, I enjoyed the female cheerleaders too. Yes, the cheerleaders came by a few times. Yes, he enjoyed that as well. Ron Smith says, what's good? Great outing yesterday. I'm pleased with not having the fear being come back on for once. That is kind of interesting because you had a feeling, especially in that fourth quarter, even on that last drive, you just there was just something in the air that said this was Atlanta's game even before we scored that last touchdown. And that is a good feeling. Facebook user says, I just want to win with our number one wide receiver. Don't have a catch. Yeah, that's good. And he got a lot of there was some excuses made for him yesterday when he dropped that pass. I heard somebody discussing that, but Drake will get in the game, y'all. Don't worry. He'll get his. Trust me. Augusta Gator, what's going on, man? Said, let's go Falcons. Good first win. I like how we are embracing Vic again. Having him in the opening video on the big screen was awesome. And you notice, Gator, that I think this is inevitably gonna have him going into this Ring of Honor. I think that's what this is leading to. In my opinion, I think they're just trying to tease a little bit because let's face it, the stuff in the past and stuff like that, you almost have to let those things kind of die down. The man paid his penance. The man has been outstanding in the community, outstanding to PETA. He's worked his way back into NFL circles. He's been a great ambassador for the game. And I think they're trying little things like this right here, Gator. And the more positive reaction, and you heard it yesterday, when he gets that positive reaction, I think they're just about ready to throw him up in the Ring of Honor as he probably should have a long time ago. D Sloan, what's going on, D? Said, what's up? It was a good win. Came down to who wanted it most. We also know it was a divisional game, so it could have went either way, but we wanted it most, so we're going to get ready for week 2. Listen, don't underestimate that win. If you went technically, though we're all 1-0, Falcons had the best division record, so they're number 1 right now. You go to that little thing on ESPN, it'll show that. Like, Falcons are 1-0 in the NFC South, hence their first in the division. So we'll see. EQ say, let's hope that fumble showed Bijan to hold on to the rock, even if he thinks he's in the clear. And that, I mentioned that yesterday. That's one of those things. Yeah, don't get too, but this ain't Texas. Everybody is not going to be left in the dust. These NFL players, and just like my man yesterday, when Jesse Bates went in there and knocked that thing out, anybody can be coming from behind. So make sure you cover that thing up. Yeah, because that could have been horrible. Facebook user says, I feel we want to win if number 1 wide receiver don't. I think, did we see that before? I think I saw that before. Francis says, hey, Uncle Steve, how you doing? Say, can't start the first half like that again. Hopefully we come out playing like we did in the second half. I think so. Yeah, we need to definitely start like we ended the game. Lisa says that ball was punched out from Bijan from behind. That was just a great defensive play. It was, but it's a fair statement to say just make sure you protect the ball. Because, again, the Carolina guy who made the nice run, that was a huge momentum shift in that because Carolina was actually moving the ball. So you got away with it, learn, and keep it moving. That's what you got to do. Again, y'all make sure y'all like the video. If you're on YouTube, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to Uncle Steve, what are you waiting on? Uncle Steve's Lounge. Come on, y'all. Do one for your uncle, man. Matter of fact, if you want Uncle Steve to be lead singer of Southern Silk, more than Bigelow, y'all put a like in the video. Like the video for me if you haven't already, so we can get that out of the way. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, man. We gonna have a online election, and once my voice recovers, because I was doing way too much yelling yesterday, then we'll have that election there. MW, the franchise player, what is going on? Happy Victory Monday, y'all. Rise up. That's what I'm talking about. Nando says, the way Shedeur looks now is way better than the way Ritter looked at the present. So give me a change, please. We need a quarterback one who passes over 20 yards to losing the defense out of 8 of 9 out of the box, in which Ritter will continue to have our offense in because he ain't a deep ball thrower. And here's the problem. For anybody who, man, you tripping, Nando. What you talking about? I mean, is he wrong? Was there not only one ball thrown down? Now, again, I'm sure Nando will be the first person to say he needed some pass protection as well. But I understand that goes back to that differing opinion where he's saying, I see a more complete passer in this junior in college than I see with Ritter. That's his opinion. That's fine. That's fine. But some will flip around and argue and say, you know what? You know what Ritter didn't do? He didn't put the team in harm's way. He didn't take any interceptions. He didn't fumble the ball. And he probably was the definition of game manager yesterday. Now, do we need more than a game manager if we're going to have future success? Absolutely. But he's throwing the opinion out there. I'm not going to knock him for that. I hear you loud and clear, brother. Armani says, third and long, you run the ball. That concerns me. That's nothing but play calling, and Arthur Smith has already been criticized last year for the same play calling. For those who think that has changed in one game, I just happen to disagree with you. I think it's fair to say you can question some of those play calls. I don't know, man. And that was almost a moment where we kind of turned our head like, what is he doing? But when you win, you can go on to the next game and say, okay, we got away with that one. King says, I think Arthur was running plays. They didn't practice, trying some stuff because the game was on the line when he wanted to open up the playbook. Also says, I think Arthur was trying to ease Ritter's rookie growing pains by conservative play calling. You got to let him go through the process. It's fair, but in a game like yesterday, and I'm not going to say he was smart enough to figure it out. Maybe he was, or maybe somebody on the staff was. I think from the moment Tyler Algier kind of spearheaded that drive where he had the big runs and we went down and tied the game, from that moment on, it seemed like he kind of got it. Now, he kind of stuck a couple of those little swing passes in wrong situations in there. But for the most part, I think we kind of bowled up and said we're going to run the ball. And once you got to that, you saved your defense. You got your defensive rest on the side, and then they can, have a little bit more energy near the end. Now, they waited a little long for me to start showing some of that pressure. I know they waited till like the third quarter, near the end of the third quarter, and it helped because Bryce was way off. But I just want to see that pressure a little bit more. Atlanta Bird Gang says, got to find a way to get Pitts and London more involved going forward. 67% of the team's completed passes were to running backs, and the quarter. And the quarterback. Here's the funny thing, right? First pass of the game for Matt Ryan, touchdown, 62 yards. First pass of the game to begin the season for Desmond Ridder, -1 yard pass. So, yes, he's absolutely right. And you also think, Tidy, that becomes very predictable. Teams will play you for it. If you look at what Carolina did, that's probably why they kind of, even though Pitts was covered a little bit on that play, actually got pass interference on that play. I don't think they were ready for that pass because they were saying, "Oh, these guys are resigned to throw these little slants and little dinks and dunks." But you gotta put Pitts and London up to bat to keep people honest. He also says Big Low and Steve on the Halo cost the Falcons franchise $60,000 easy in appearance fees. Hey, but all I say again is, yes, it may have been true that the camera caught me, but y'all just noticed how they know who to spotlight. They didn't go over to the right side and watch Lowe trying to do the robot. They came up to Uncle Steve's side and were trying to, show him a little smoothness. They didn't go over to the low side where you're doing the hokey pokey. So, oh man. Birdgate Sports ATL says, I've been saying all offseason that Green Bay is not going to be a pushover, and Jordan Love is a baller. This is going to be a good game. I feel we would need Ridder to win this one. Yeah, you're going to need Ridder more than you needed in this game, that's for sure. That's why it's kind of a good thing that Ridder went through this against Carolina as opposed to this week, because I really feel like if we had done that this past week, we were going to be in trouble this week. My buddy Harrison Davis is in the house. What's up, Harrison? Said, glad we won the game. I saw you on the Jumbo Halo board during the game. Yeah, Harrison, I was trying to get some of that old Atlanta Public Schools moving and grooving. Probably had to ice my knees after that, but just enjoying myself, Harrison. It's good to enjoy that atmosphere yesterday, that win, and all of that. Yeah, it was not. And the funny thing was, I told the story before yesterday. Like, I didn't even realize it was on the big screen. Am I lying to say I didn't see a guy coming by with a camera every now and then? Of course I did, but I wasn't looking for him because camera guys were passing up and down. Next thing I know, I see somebody come up, and then all of a sudden everybody would start pointing, and I wasn't looking up. I was kind of into what was going on. So then on my phone, people from work, people from in the stadium, people whose number I didn't know. Steve, you're on the Jumbo Talk. So it was a fun moment. My 2.5 seconds of fame, I got it. So, oh, man. Bubba says, Steelers playing their starters in preseason didn't translate to what they did. Yeah, I know. Yeah, all that boxing, sparring comments that made him sound like a genius kind of backfired for him. But, Clayton said, what's up, Steve? Everybody going to have an opinion and an idea like they should. At the end of the day, we don't control contracts or sign them. Some people are going to complain until they talking to a brick wall and still complain. My take on yesterday, love to win. Smith still grinding my gears, but at least I wasn't feeling a heart attack at the end of the game. Ridder was just okay to me. He was in his head, I feel. And after watching interviews, seemed like he was on a leash by Smith. Yeah, everything you said in there is pretty solid, man. Absolutely. And I mean, I have not been saying it to be critical of Ridder, but I have been kind of saying, folks, don't over expect when he comes in there. he is still very green. We still might not get the best out of Ritter until next year. So all these people that thought just because he was named a starter, everybody was talking about his leadership and all that, he was going to automatically turn into Jalen Hurts. And that's just not the case. Does he have a ceiling? Absolutely. Is he still have room to grow? Absolutely. But if we call it like we call it, he played a very, very vanilla game and a perfect example of a game managing game, which is your quarterback is going to get the blame. Your quarterback's going to get the love, one way or the other. Yesterday, he got some love. There's some folks that want to look at that 15 out of 18 and tell you, look how he had the highest passing rating yesterday. Really? 15 out of 18 for 115 yards. We were criticizing Mariota for those numbers last year. Really? I don't know. Because I think Frisco, if I'm not mistaken, if I go back and look at that Frisco game, this looked exactly like, I think he was like 11 for 13 and 100 something. And matter of fact, I think he was the player of the game that week. So I don't know. Atlanta Hurricane says, "Old Goat Freeman reference." Listen, man, that's the only reference I'm gonna give to him. Oh man. Clayton says, it's been said that London game will be broadcast animated with Toy Story theme. Are you serious? Only reason I asked for that, I know those Nickelodeon things where they have the slime and everything like that. That's crazy. Tiny says, yes, Steve, they are setting Vic up to go into the Ring of Honor. It started with the apology letter to Atlanta, then the legend ceremony. He is officially the Atlanta ambassador. I'm sure Blank wants it too. And I think Blank can truly look back, man. I think Blank had a lot of love for this guy. If y'all remember at the time, he made Vic the highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL when he re-signed him back in the day. He has a lot of affection for him. Think about how easy it would have been for him to kind of walk away and say, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. I just want to detach myself from him personally. But being able to not only embrace him and help him to the next phase, but now realizing what he meant to the culture of Atlanta Falcons football, to bring him back yesterday of all days. And I think Toddy mentioned the legend ceremony. When they brought him back that last day of the Georgia Dome, the regular season, Georgia Dome, folks can act like they want to act, but there was not a soul that got an ovation like Michael Vick did when they rolled him around in that last vehicle with Roddy White. And it's amazing as time goes on, we kind of forgive. This is the most forgiving nation in the world. And Vic has done his time. He's paid his dues. He's been embraced by this team again. I think it's only a matter of time before we do it again. NLMB says, do you think our stats would have looked different if we had a healthy Matty Ice? Now, I said earlier, if a healthy prime Matt Ryan would have played in yesterday's game, he would have had about 300 some yards. Because the last time, again, and I'm lying because I said I wasn't going to mention him again, when he had Devonta and Tevin Coleman in there, in other words, had a very diverse and effective running game, Matt Ryan put up the best numbers of his career. So, Drew says, for all Ritter haters, he led the team He led the team, no turnovers, did better than Bryson Lamar, and got a 111.8 rate. Drew, I swear I didn't see this earlier. Drew, I want you to put in perspective, my brother. That 111, I'm sorry, rating. Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. I'm going to go by my own word and say, Drew, that's your opinion, brother. I hear you. But it's not, but the only thing I disagree with you is stop with the Ritter hating. Nobody's hating on Ritter. Got to stop that. People want the best. Every position on this team, every time there's a free agent, every time there's somebody who's not happy with their home, see Stephon Diggs, see the guy who just signed with Kansas City again today, Chris Jones, see those people. Every time there's somebody disgruntled, what do we as Falcon fans do? Y'all do it all the time. I see you on Facebook. I see you on Twitter. Let's go get him. Let's go get him. Why does the quarterback position all of a sudden have immunity with Desmond Ritter there? It's like improve the offensive line, bring in a pass rush, bring in a trade for a defensive back, bring in a linebacker. But Desmond Ritter, no. Yeah, we got to stop that. We got to stop that. Every time I hear somebody say Ritter haters, that lets me know that the blinders are on. Got to look at the whole picture, man. We want every position to be better. And right now, if you sit here and tell me there are, let me see. I think I can be pretty accurate on this. Right now in the NFL, more than half of the NFL is better than Desmond Ritter as far as quarterbacks are concerned. So if that's the case, it's fair to question if he's the best guy for the job. I'm not telling you to change him. I'm saying anytime you're in the lower percentile of your position, if you're in the lower half of your position, it's fair to see if someone else is better. That works at the job. That works in every sports. How many times have we been asking Clint Capella? Can we get somebody better than Clint Capella? Y'all are running. Oh, let's get him. Let's get him. Comes to Ritter, all of a sudden, all this, I don't know, it's all this juicy love for Ritter, which is interesting. But I get it. If you're a Falcon fan, yeah, I get it, but come on now. Chill Rodney's in the house. What's going on, man? How you doing? Clayton says CJ Stroud first passer. Said, oh, him too? Hey, I guess it was going around. Travis says, people are saying we won, but you can't be satisfied with that performance from Ritter. Would you trust Ritter to play like that against Philly or San Francisco? They're scoring more than 10 points. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, Winston says, how do you feel about our London game against the Jags being animated in real time with a Toy Story theme from Andy's room? See, again, first time I've heard that. So as first I'm hearing that, I got to see that. Make sure I set my TV because we'll actually be at the game. So that's interesting. Matt Town Dirty says Jacksonville's Ridley had a decent game yesterday. Absolute. Hey, my son, we were sitting up there and he was like, oh yeah, that Ridley putting up some big numbers. Folks, I'm not telling you root for him to win the Super Bowl, but we need him to show up to get that second round pick. That's a big one. That's a big one. Joseph said Ritter was having some Mariota-ish ways yesterday. He was. He was. Whether you want to believe it or not, he was. David says, for those talking about a 118 rating, one pass was to itself off the back of a center. Two others were for negative yardage. Oh, man. Bobby, what's going on, Bobby? Bobby says, how can any quarterback play with Burns and Brown going unblocked? Brother, Burns and Browns are gonna wreak havoc for a lot of teams. Sometimes you just got to find a way. They improved the block. Let's not act like he got sacked the whole game. Most of those sacks were in the first half. He got sacked 4 times. He didn't get sacked 10. There were times that he did have time to throw, and he ended up saying, I'm going to dink it and dunk it. I mean, I get it. I know there's a real I want to protect Ritter thing. That's fine. That's beautiful. I want our quarterback to be protected too. But I also want to say it wasn't all the offensive line not doing their job yesterday. It wasn't. We gotta stop that. Winston says they posted it on Bleacher Report about 30 minutes ago. Wow, I gotta check it out. Dirty Bird Bill, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. Chill Rodney says, look, y'all, Matt Ryan was going unblocked like crazy, and we didn't give him the same excuse we given Ritter. Yet Matt was slinging that thing and at least would pull up 300 yards. You killing me. I'm just trying to say, where is he wrong in that statement? And yes, sometimes you did hear big time criticism of the O-line, but boy, no, y'all roasted Matt. He's absolutely right. Y'all roasted Matt when he couldn't get the ball out. Y'all roasted Matt. Everybody roasted Matt. And I don't understand, and maybe Matt is coming at a different time, and I keep saying this not to sound ancient, but there wasn't social media around with Mike Vick in the beginning of, I mean, it was around, but it's nowhere near where it was now. But this overwhelming, unsolicited love for Ritter is just interesting to me. I'm supporting our quarterback, but it's just interesting to me that there are a lot of folks that just go the 10 yards for this cat. More power to you. WCG says, I think people love and protect Ritter because Ritter says all the right things, but don't realize there are players no longer in the league that say all the right things. Absolutely. There are folks that played the role. I'm going to tell you one now that, man, perfect guy off the field. My buddy EJ Manuel got drafted by the Buffalo Bills, and I mean represented the team, stood tall, did all he had to do, and unfortunately, had some bad breaks there in Buffalo, and then later on with by that time they were in Oakland and stuff, but. That doesn't mean just because you say all the right things that things aren't going to work out for you. Y'all got to remember that. A1 Forever, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. I appreciate you again. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, man. Don't forget about me on Facebook. Y'all hit the like button on the views, man. On the like. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Winston says Matt would have attacked as soon as he saw Horn go down in the first half. Ritter should have tried that backup for him. Not too concerning to me. Now, I will say this, Winston. In fairness, I don't know if Matt would have done that in 2008. Maybe by 2009, 2010. Yeah. But I do realize Ritter has a learning curve. I'm not going to sit here and try to act like he's supposed to gather every ounce of information in and be able to perform like that. So I'm going to give him a little bit of leeway with that. David says, anyone concerned with Ritter's arm strength, or is it just me? Not yet. I mean, again, Look at that throw he made to Pitts. That's a nice throw when he had time to do that. So when I hear people talk about Arthur Smith's plan, I don't know whether he wanted to go downfield or not. Let's see. I mean, let's see what happened. Terrence, what's going on, Terrence? Is they appreciate you keeping it real. I'm not impressed with Ritter. I don't know why everyone treats Ritter like the golden boy. Drake and Kyle can't let Ridley outperform them this year. Yeah, that would be deep, right? Because if Calvin goes out there and puts up better number than Drake this year, and we just gave him up, it would be some talk. It would be some talk. Bobby says, you got to have an eye for winners. Look back and see all the ones in the Hall of Fame that you – wait a minute. You got to have an eye for winners. Look back and see all the ones in the Hall of Fame that you didn't see. You mean the people that you didn't predict to be in there. Yeah, I mean, yeah. You're throwing Hall of Fame in the sentence, and I get where you're coming from. I'm not trying to be smart aleck or anything like that. But when you throw, Hall of Fame is good. Let's get to playoff quarterback first. Get me the playoff quarterback first, then I hear you. Let's talk. Let's go one step at a time. I understand the gist of what you're saying. A lot of folks that you didn't predict to be in the Hall of Fame that's in there. Tom Brady, one of them. Nobody was thinking coming out of Michigan as a 6th-round pick that he would end up being there. I know he's not there yet, but he will be. So. Joseph says, Spectrum Cable, oh, good. Got ESPN back just in time for Monday Night Football. Oh, that's excellent. I felt so bad for those people 2 weeks ago. They said ESPN came all the way up, and then as soon as the football came, that was it, Florida, Utah, right before the game started, it took it off. Good, I'm glad it's back. David said, I saw no real zip on his passes yesterday. There were a couple of them in the middle that were okay. I've never heard anybody say Desmond Ridder had the strongest arm. But I don't know. In this offense, maybe he doesn't have to have the strongest. Maybe he just has to get it there every now and then. Maybe this 83% accuracy that he has. Oh, man. Chadwick, what's going on? Chadwick, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. Funeral services. Thank you for joining me. Always in the house. See you in there. Winston says, I know Ridder is a developmental project, but to show no growth from last season, and Ridder has plenty of arm. It's just where the ball is going to end up at. And Winston, remember at the end of the year, I know a lot of us want to give him some time. And I really do. I want to give Winston at least I want to give Ridder at least 4 to 6 games before I can make a wholesale opinion about him going forward. Let's do that. I really do. And I think it's fair. It's fair to critique some of the stuff that happened, even with the offensive line problems, which there were. But I want to give him these 4 to 6 games before I make a opinion. Oh, I heard the whispers early on. Bring in Heineke, blah, blah, blah. And that's fans talking. We're mad. We're down 7-0. We're down 10-7. That's people talking. But, Millie, what's going on? Says, what's up? How much does it cost to sack the quarterback? Probably about 50, whatever Chris Jones got today. I don't know how much he got, but I know he signed. I know he wasn't signing for cheap. Brian Burns, he about to get paid. Let's see what they have. Bobby Carter said, hey, aren't you the man? I just love to put a twist on things. Oh, no, you good, Bobby. Bobby, and I know you didn't come in early. I said, man, everybody bring all kinds of flavor. When you bring something different, a lot of other people bring something different, and I just am just trying to feel it out. It's never disrespectful here. I love the difference of opinions. We got to have it, man. I would never, I do not want to be in a room where 10 people are thinking the same way. I don't want to be that robotic. I want to be able to get along with everybody in the room, yet have the independence of mind to think a different way. There are some people that think Ridder played the greatest game ever yesterday with the 15 out of 18 and 111 passing. And there are some people that say Ridder was the worst quarterback to ever start a game for the Atlanta Falcons for a season. I'm for real about that. There are the gamut runs from the hottest to the coldest. And I don't think anybody's 100% right or wrong. It's somewhere in the middle. But I do know one thing. We came back on top. And that's the most important thing. And on that note, folks, I'm going to let y'all go ahead and get ready for the Monday Night Football. Again, appreciate everyone coming in. If you didn't push the like button on your way in, on your way out, push it out. Let me know that if you like what we talked about today. Let me know critiques, if you have any, about what we're talking about. Just a forum for us to get together. We'll do this every Monday after the Sunday night game. Talk about it. Take that 24 hours to decompress. Because, when we're right after the game, we got all these opinions. But take that 24 hours, rest up, come back on Monday, talk to it about your and we'll throw it out in a respectful way and discuss it. Y'all have a great week. We'll see you Friday for the Friday brunch at 1 o'clock. We'll have the NFL picks and you'll have your uncle's picks on how we're going to beat these Green Bay Packers this coming week. Until then, everyone have a great week and we'll catch you on Friday.